Okay, today is July the 16th, 2017, and we're looking at the water vapor map for the western U.S. And we have quite a bit of thunderstorm activity down here in Mexico and Arizona, but nothing in California. Right off of California, there looks like there was some sort of a attempt to destroy water vapor moving into the state. Let's look at the next map here, the infrared map, and we can see that happening here, right here. There's an area of water vapor that is completely wiped out. Look at the southwest map. We can get a better view of that happening here in the IR mode. Right here, look at all of this water vapor just disappears. And look at the blast pattern here on this supercell towards the end of the loop. Right here, look at this. This area is being superheated, and we have this blast pattern as a result of all that rapidly expanding water vapor right in the dead center. Okay. Now, we would expect to see rain in California since there's rain nearby. We've got high pressure in this area. Things are spinning clockwise. Let's look at the big map once again. But none of this is getting into California. None of the, we look at the, okay, so that web page is not working. All right, in the meantime, let's take a look at Fernanda up close. This is the NOAA GOES floater infrared map. And we can see a blast pattern along this western edge of that storm. Has an eye wall. Now, this storm was just downgraded. Let's look at the National Hurricane Center map right now. We have Fernanda over here. Category 3. Now, about 20 minutes ago, this was up at Category 4 status with 130 mile per hour winds. It now has 120 mile per hour winds. It's still moving west-northwest. It changed direction. This storm was moving due west for quite a while, and now it's turned in a west-northwest pattern. Over here we have a second disturbance, which just a few minutes ago was at a 30% chance. This is now a orange X, indicating a 50% chance of hurricane formation. And now we have a 70% chance of hurricane formation right off of the Mexican mainland right here. So we're going to have two more storms right behind Fernanda. We have an upper level low right here off of California. And we can see a blockade that's been engineered all through here, which is going to prevent this. We have an area, some low pressure spinning. There's a low pressure right here spinning into Vancouver right there. We have another low pressure system right up here over Canada. All that's being blocked by this area of high pressure installed right through here, separating the monsoonal flow and thunderstorm activity from this much cooler North Pacific weather. All right, now here's the big map, the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. You can see Fernanda right here, which is now turned to the west-northwest. This is moving towards the Hawaiian Islands. This is now about 12 degrees north and about 127 west, I believe it is. Let's double check that. The National Hurricane Center map right here. This is 13 degrees north and 129 west. And let's look now at the water temperature map right here. And that storm is right here between these two longitudes. And we're just going to scroll up. And here's 20 degrees north, this top line. And so here's 10, and 12 or 13 is right in here. This is where the hurricane is right now, Fernanda. And this storm has been going along right through the reddest part, the warmest part of the ocean. It started out over here by Mexico, and it's right over here. And of course, once this gets up a little bit further, the people on television will tell us that the storm got into cooler waters, and of course that's why the storm was weakened. Well, that's not true at all. We just saw the system on the hurricane map, which has now been downgraded to a Category 3. And if we look at the floaters map, once again, we can see the blast pattern. This is what's in fact weakening the hurricane. They target this storm every few hours with microwave, and we can see that blast pattern. Here's the last blast pattern way out here, right there. Here's the next one, right there. And that's what's weakening this storm. It has nothing to do with water temperature. I mean, of course, water temperature is what makes these hurricanes so fierce. And if they weren't blasting this storm with microwave, it would spool up probably to a 200 plus mile per hour superstorm like we saw with Hurricane Patricia back in, I believe it was October of 2015. I'm going to organize my videos and put them on a playlist so people can easily find these storms. All right, let's go back to the big map. There's Fernanda. Here's the Hawaiian Islands. Now, as this storm moves towards the Hawaiian Islands, we don't know yet what they're going to do. The weather controllers could blow this thing apart. They're already starting to weaken it, even though it's in the very warmest part of the ocean, as we were just looking at. Now, as this moves towards the islands, either high pressure will set up, this area will fill out, much like what we're seeing right here, and this storm will be forced to ride around the islands, either to the north or to the south. My guess is that it'll move to the north, or they will just destroy it and it'll be squashed out, and it will get caught up in one of these currents here, and they'll beat up on it just like they have with all these low pressure systems up here in the North Pacific. They just beat them up until there's nothing left. And that's probably what will happen. We'll have to keep an eye on things. We see right down here, there's an area trying to spin counterclockwise just south of California. This area right here is trying to spin counterclockwise. Let's look at that right here in the western U.S. map right here. And there's already a zone of high pressure on top of that area, which is adjacent to that hurricane, Fernanda. So we've got low pressure starting to set up. We can see the counterclockwise rotation. We also have clockwise rotation just on the other side of this storm right here. And then we have these two disturbances, this one here and one right over here with a, I guess it is an 80% chance now right over here. This looks much more organized than this one over here. And this has a blast pattern on it. You see the right there. Now, I have some great video from today. I was up in the mountains all day, and I have some great video of some thunderheads being superheated up over the San Gabriel Mountains, and I'll try to post that tonight. If not tonight, then tomorrow. There's about 4 or 5 videos, so there'll be many short videos. They're around anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes long, just showing these thunderheads being superheated with the outflow ring, blast ring, pressure wave, whatever you want to call it. And then we see the thunderhead collapse and rebuild, and the same thing happens again. All right, so here's the East Pacific water vapor loop. We can see really get a good view of Fernanda right here in that blast pattern. And we can see the the northwest track that storm is starting to take. Here's the 20-degree north line. This is where the Hawaiian Islands are, a little bit further out to the left. And so these weather controllers can do anything they want with this storm. They could blow it apart completely, like we saw with Hurricane Patricia, or they can let it move out towards the islands and scare a few people, and then at the last second they'll either blow it apart or steer it around the islands. We've seen that happen. And here's the southwest water vapor loop. Once again, we can see these storms are being targeted, these thunderstorms right here and right here, superheating all of these. Every one of these are being targeted, and nothing in California. And there's a lot of dead trees, a lot of dying trees in the Angeles National Forest. Okay, once again, that's where all the warmest waters are. That's right where that hurricane is. Okay, let's try the Doppler map once again. Here it is. We can see that California has pretty much zero rain, despite all the surrounding thunderstorm activity to the south, to the east. We have some severe weather right here just south of Flagstaff, south of Sedona, northeast of Phoenix, and then near Tucson, same thing. And then over here in Southern California, there's just nothing. All right, this map is not working as usual. It's frozen. You have Los Angeles way over here on the left. Let's just pan the camera over a little bit. There it is. Okay, very good. All right, so as we can see, the southern part of California is pretty much dry. Right here, there's just nothing. So there is a concerted effort to prevent rain and the monsoonal flow into California. We're seeing that day after day, day after day. Right here. We've got some low pressure starting to develop right down here. And we have just really nothing getting into California. Despite the clockwise flow, we would expect to see some of this winding back around, but that's not happening. All right, so that's the report. Here is the SSEC map. You can see that Hurricane Fernanda right down here. You see a lot of clockwise rotation on the northeast side of that storm. Here we have this counterclockwise low pressure developing right off of the Baja coast. And we can see all those thunderstorms just right here in Arizona, New Mexico, and Mexico. Nothing in California. Upper level low out here, which is slowly moving east towards the United States. We've got the islands right down here. And we've got some severe weather just to the west of the Hawaiian Islands, right over here. Here's Hawaii. So we'll keep an eye on the hurricane and see what they do to protect the islands. They'll probably install high pressure and steer this thing around the islands. We can already see some high pressure right in this area starting to set up. That will become much more well defined as this hurricane moves towards Hawaii. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so we'll just leave it right here and try to get those videos of the thunderheads being superheated. We'll get at least one of those up tonight, hopefully. Okay, that's it.